There's one. There we go. There we go. Oh, what do we got here? There we go. Is this a good one? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good fish. Heck yeah. Come here. Oh God, come here. Come here. Come here. Heck yes. See, that's what we've been after. We saw fish on a bed. Been cruising around. Mostly been seeing a lot of carp up shallow. But earlier this morning I was out and I saw fish on beds, but they were definitely small males. There were no big females anywhere in sight. So I was kind of fishing those areas out deeper, trying to see if I could, you know, get some of those females that are hanging out in areas where they might be ready to move up. And I think we lucked out. We're in a patch of lily pads. There's plenty of eelgrass here. So I'm just, same thing as always, tossing this big old fluke around. And man, we lucked out. Look at that. That's a nice, fat, healthy female. That is a pre-spawn fish. Beautiful. That's exactly what we've been trying to do today. So very excited to have some success. Get this big old girl. Nice. Look at that. That is a full, she is every bit of 20 inches. Oh. Oh, Jesus. There's one. Holy cow. That was a battering ram. Oh, guy, we found another good one. Oh, guy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, God. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Oh, it's not hooked so well. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. No, 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 no. Come here. Come here. Oh my God, look at that. Barely hooked. That, oh, look at that. That is another tank. Guy, that is another tank. So we're still in that same spot we were in. My GoPro thing broke. I had to paddle back, get a new one. And I had that fluke and I cast it back out. I made the same cast. I was on the kind of the edge of these pads and I made the same cast. I got bit. I broke off, had issues. Basically, I lost all my line on my rod, as you can see. And so basically we can't fish the fluke anymore. So I kept going with the Clash, and you can see where there's kind of, you're on top of the eelgrass over here. Man, I just thought like there must be some more big ones hanging out in this area. And like I said, there's a little cove right here, perfect spot for spawning. There's hard sand bottom right up against the shoreline. And look at that, we got another good one. That is too exciting. That is another good one. I'm glad that they're not that picky. Ooh, look at this one. What are we at? Ooh, this one's bigger than the last one. Heck yeah. That's all of 20 3/4. Heck yeah, look at that. Another big, thick fish. 20 3/4. Oh man, that thing hit like a battering ram too. That was an excellent bite. All right, we got 20 3/4. Ooh, 14 1/4. Heck yeah, let's let her go. Oh, there she goes. Nice. All right, so we paddled out, and basically I brought up the things I've been using for pre-spawn fish. I've been throwing some big flukes, just big soft plastics, dragging them around outside edges of grass and stuff, throwing some glide baits here and there. We still have a glide bait tied on, but when we paddled out, we kind of cruised up one of the banks shallow, and there are definitely fish up on beds. I saw a bed with a male and a female on it. I've seen some decent sized fish, so I'm pretty sure the females are moved up. They're all locked on beds. So I just kind of had to switch tactics. I'm just, you know, I was throwing kind of a bigger soft plastic, and I kind of got hit a couple times, but I didn't have the sensitivity I needed to really feel if they picked it up or not. And that and accuracy, I'm just way more accurate with a spinning rod. So what I'm doing, I paddle back in, I swapped out, I got my bags of Senkos, and we're basically, it's kind of like a Neko rig, but it's not. So it's like my weedless version of kind of a Neko rig. So let me show you here. So we got our Senko, 5-inch Senko standard, and we're just gonna lop part of the tail off on the Senko, and I'm gonna rig it weedless, and then I'm gonna shove a nail weight in the bottom. And what that does is when I make a cast, you know, when I make a cast up shallow, because I'm kind of blind casting, I can kind of see beds a little bit. We're gonna shove our nail weight in there, but it's kind of hard. There's a ripple on the surface, there's wind, you know, it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on. So we got our nail weight, and I like to use a light wire. I got a light wire 3/0 hook, and this is a great way to rig it weedless. So I'm just gonna rig it up. I just want to give you guys a view of what I'm doing here. And this is like my perfect combination. I use Yum dingers, the 5-inch Yum Senkos, and I got the VMC light wire 3/0 hook. And when I rig this up, that hook point perfectly aligns with that end right there of the hook slot. So I don't really have to expose it that much. I can just poke it up right into that little end so it stays weedless and my bait doesn't get torn up. But when a fish bites this, it doesn't take much for that to pop out and just lightly peg them. It's super sharp, super light wire. So that's why I like this. I'm gonna have more sensitivity. Plus when I cast, when I make my cast, because it's bottom weighted, when this hits the water, it's gonna sink straight down. So when I drop my cast, I know my bait's pretty much landing exactly where I cast it. It's not moving off every which way. That bottom weight kind of helps pull it right down and set it right where I want it. And then I can kind of jiggle it and do what I need to do. So that's what we're gonna do. We pivoted, we paddled in, we'll grab this stuff, and we're gonna get back out there, see if we can't catch a few of these guys up on the beds. This fish hasn't even nibbled at my Senko. It is totally locked down. There we There it is. There we go. There's one. Okay, this is the male. Got it. So there was a female up on the bed with him, and she kind of took off as soon as I caught this guy. This was the male, which is pretty standard operating procedure. You know, the males, they're the ones that guard everything and chase everything off. Not a big one. The female that was with him was probably a 2 to 3 pounder at least. So we got one. Let's get this guy measured, drop it back in. Ooh, oh, it's back. Okay, here we go. Need to make a good cast right here. Oh, here we go. Come on. This fish is just on the outside of its bed, just staring at my bait, just getting pissed about that being there. Kind of moved off again. Now I'm getting blown right into it. I don't see the fish anymore. Dang it. Oh, there's a male. He's kind of tucked under, but I just want to show you, see this, obviously this pale spot is the bed, and it's nice and protected. There's some, you know, there's a nice cover of grass kind of giving a canopy, and then it's right on the back side of these lily pads. So it's a nice protected area. You know, they like to have a good protected area to spawn, you know, because they're so shallow. So they need some kind of barrier between them and the outside world, some kind of protection. There's one. There we go. We got one. That's another one right off the bed. Ooh, that's a better fish. That's a better fish. Come here, baby. Oh, come here. Oh, no, he got off. Come on, man. Dang it. Oh, God, that sucks. That sucks. Oh. Damn, man, that was a decent one. So I don't know if you can see that bed is tucked right behind this dock post, and it's a nice, you got a good weed edge cuts in, so it's a nice protected spot. I saw what I thought was a fish, made a blind cast, felt the weight. I'm not really feeling bites. I'm just kind of feeling, you know, I'm lifting up my rod, I'm just kind of feeling weight. I set the hook and I didn't get a good hook in that fish. That stinks. It's been tough today, man. There's a lot of wind. I'm getting pushed around a lot. Oop, there's another one, male, chasing some fish around. So we still got a chance over here, but it's really tough to fish, you know, target these fish on beds. And today is the day to do it because there are a lot of fish on beds. I've seen some bigger fish cruising, so not locked on beds, but I'm seeing a lot of pairs locked on beds. And when they're like that, they're super hard to get to bite. You know, they're trying to do their business. They're trying to spawn. They're not in a feeding mode. They're not eating. You know, they're not biting to eat. It's you're getting a defensive strike. And it's hard to do that. You really have to piss them off and get them bristled and angry. So you have to make repeated casts to the bed to do so. And it's tough, man. I'm in a kayak. I'm getting blown all over the place. I've spooked a ton of fish off the bed today. So let's try this again. Let's see what happens. There's the male. There we go. There's the male. Oh, he got off. Of course he did. See, I'm telling you, they just barely get it. Dang it. That was the male. The female we kind of spooked off. The first cast, she kind of pulled it past the male and he seemed disinterested, but she kind of got on it. And I saw what looked like her picking up, and I swung. I should not have swung, and she did not have it. And then I kind of cast, oh, she's still right there. And then I kind of made a cast to her after that was not on the bed, and that kind of spooked her off. See, he just doesn't have it. There he is. There we go. There we go. We got him that time. All right, well, there's the male again. Not a big one. So you can see I spent, you know, quite a few minutes, multiple casts to just really get this guy to, you know, he barely had it the first few times. I almost hooked him. Oh, that's a good one. There's a good bass right here. There's a big bed. I kind of spooked it initially because I rolled up on it. There's a big dark spot and the bed's in a little deeper water. I couldn't tell, and I got right on top of it and I saw a bass swim off, so I kind of gave it time, came back. A bigger one just kind of rolled up, and I think that's got to be the female. I may have seen the male earlier and it was a good one. Now I can't see anything because it's dark out and there's a lot of ripple on the water. Oh man, there is a big female swimming around here. So I think the male is pretty big too. And the male is right there on the edge, just super pissed. The female keeps swimming around in circles. She is not happy, not happy at all. I'm right on top of the bed. I mean, I'm right on top of the bed. And I got my bait just dead center, just kind of jigging it up and down. Just trying to piss this male off. He is not having it. Alright, so I wanted to go over some things. Man, the fish were full on spawning today. Males and females were up on beds. I saw some really decent fish everywhere, all around. There were some really nice females cruising up shallow, you know, not quite locked on beds, probably looking for a partner and such. And I had a tough day, and there's certain things that are out of my control. Like, it was super windy out. You know, I'm in a kayak. I keep getting blown into the fish I'm trying to make, you know, pitches to and stuff. And you know, when the fish are like that, they're paired up, they're on beds, they're very hesitant to bite, they're not aggressive. You know, you really have to make repeated casts to really entice them. And by entice, I mean you have to irritate them to no end, and then before they finally suck your bait up. Usually, you know, the first few casts in, you're gonna have them barely pick up your bait so they can just move it off to the side. They just want it out of their way so they can go about the business of spawning. And so certain things are out of my control, like the weather and stuff. If it's windy, I'm getting blown in. I'm used to that. I accept that fishing out of a kayak. That's just the way that is. But there are certain things in my control that I totally screwed up today. And the main thing is, when I was driving to the lake, I had the wrong mindset. You know, I knew leading up to this that this was definitely a day where, you know, I was going to see fish up shallow spawning. And I just mentally, I wasn't prepared for that, because the stuff I went out with, you know, when I first took off, I went out with all the same gear and things that I've been using to target pre-spawn bass. You know, on deeper weed lines and stuff, bigger baits that I can drag, so wintertime baits, but also pre-spawn baits. And I wasn't thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. So I came back, and you know, I grabbed some Senkos and stuff so I could, you know, have some soft plastics to pitch up. But even then, you know, with the wind and stuff, I should have had a better mindset of something like a Texas rig, where I could have a heavier weight so I could really make good casts to the area I wanted my bait to end up, and to keep it there. You know, even, you know, in the wind, anytime I picked up my rod and just barely tried to move my Senko, it's so light that I moved it too far, you know, things like that. I should not have been throwing a glide bait. I should have had some soft plastic weedless swim baits to throw around, you know, so I could have targeted those big females that I did see cruising the shallows. You know, I couldn't target them because in those areas there was just so much grass, so much eelgrass and lily pads and stuff. So I really screwed the pooch on that one. And you know, you live and learn. And it was just, but it was my whole mindset, and I realized that part of the way through. I was like, you know, I just approached the day the wrong way. And you know, we caught a couple little ones. It was fine. And it's always just exciting to be in that proximity with the bass, and visually get a gauge on their behavior, how they're reacting to your baits. Like, that's, I think, you know, that's the really exciting part of sight fishing. It's a whole different ball game, you know, than you're used to. And so I messed up, but you know, I couldn't control the fact that today the fish were extremely finicky. I mean, the two fish I caught, like, I made so many multiple casts to those beds just to get those, you know, it took so long to get those males just dialed into my bait, and you know, get them upset and pissed off so they would lash out at it. You know, so, you know, certain things were out of my control, but I didn't do a good job of the things I could control, and that was the whole point. So I just wanted to make a note of that. It's good. It's a learning experience, and that's the fun part. You're always learning when you're fishing. So not a failure to me, just a fun time out, and you know, a learning process. So there you go.